Good evening and welcome back to the Team 7 podcast. We are at the very end of season 2 for Shippuden. So that's 46 through 53. We'll go ahead and get just right into it. Basically, where we left off, Sai has sided with Orochimaru and Kabuto. They're heading towards the hideout, and we've got Sakura, Yamato, and Naruto chasing after him. So first episode, actually, I think I said 46. It's 47. Infiltration, the Den of the Snake. And we're just kind of in this den or around it kind of the whole time. So let's just start there. What were some thoughts? Also, we have a special guest with us, Lance Asher. Hi, Lance.
Hi. Thanks for having me back.
Always. So, thoughts, comments, snide remarks?
First thing I have to say in 47, my boy Yamato has been playing safe for a while. He's, I've been trying to figure out how I feel about him. But when he gave them seeds to track them, everything about my thoughts on technology and just jutsus in general, I'm like, how in the world does that work? But also so strange.
It is a very weird concept, but it is cool that.
Yeah, he's like, hey, take these seeds and I'll know where you're at all times. And I'm like, oh, what a weird thing to say.
I love that he tricked Sai into having two. He was like, one in the clothes, one in the food.
Right.
It was great.
But yeah, overall, yeah.
So, did you guys ever buy in? Did you think that Sai was bad? I mean, he kind of was. He just kind of got talked no jutsu'd out of it. But yeah, what did you all think?
Yeah, he quickly got talked no jutsu'd out of it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go down the list of people that I like more than Sasuke. Sai is now at the top of that list.
At the top.
And then...
Like you like him the most.
The most more than Sasuke?
Like that's your favorite character?
More than Sasuke, yeah.
Oh, well that's not the top.
Yeah. It's the top of the bottom.
The top of the bottom, yeah.
So cut off. And then right above the line is Sai. But still very low comparatively.
I would say so, but that doesn't mean I don't like him, especially by the end of this arc. I definitely liked Sai quite a bit by the end of the arc. But Sasuke's such a bitch. I hate him. He's my least favorite. Yeah. I like Orochimaru and Kabuto more than Sasuke.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of redeeming factors right now besides the fact that he just looks cool. But he definitely was like, not to jump forward too far, but I think it was 51, maybe 52. He was definitely going to kill them. And Lance and I know what jutsu he was going to use there, and you guys will see it. But yeah, I mean, he clearly has no love for them at all. So, like we talked about last week or the week before, why chase?
Exactly. I mean,
beats the hell out of me.
I'm really excited to hear your all's thoughts on this.
I mean, from the beginning of this batch, Sasuke is talking to Sai, and Sai's kind of telling Sasuke like Naruto's drive to reunite with him and bring him back, and that's kind of working on his own heart and stuff like that. But he tells is he talking? Yeah, Sasuke acts like he doesn't remember Naruto or Sakura at all, and to me that was like, I don't know, I felt like that was just petty. It wasn't like
this is the king of petty though.
For sure. But that's what makes me not like him. And I'm everybody has their preferences and characters and who they're fans of, but I don't know. I've got to see more like redeeming qualities of Sasuke before I'm like, yeah, I'm good with him again, because I've honestly never really liked him. I don't know why.
But the show has not given you a reason to, which was so interesting growing up, because maybe Lance had a different opinion growing up, but I liked him growing up. But by the time we got here, it was really hard to justify it, because you want to like him because he's cool and he's so obviously very strong, but that's met also with he is an asshole all the time. So
yeah, I do think that's one of the differences between watching it as a kid and watching it as an adult. For me at least, I think just because I was that age when we were watching it, like Sasuke was so cool, like because of the intrigue of his, like, he just refused to be good. It was kind of weird. At least that's the way I was kind of watching it. And so as far as why chase him, like the pure, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that it doesn't make any sense, I think, is kind of the point. Like, Naruto is so stupid that, like, he is willing to do all of this for someone who clearly doesn't want it. And I think that is just Naruto's character. And whether or not it's justified, I guess, is for debate, which is kind of part of the fun. But I agree that it is hard to find anything like redeeming about Sasuke at this point into the show. Like, he sucks.
Yeah.
Well, even the fact that he's, going after Itachi, it's like, on a base level, that's a good thing overall in the universe that we're living in here, because that's an Akatsuki member. We don't want them to succeed with whatever their plan is. But at the same time, it's like, that doesn't redeem Sasuke at all. It's like, let somebody else do it. I mean, Itachi had to get called off of chasing after Gaara, right? And like extracting chasing after Naruto, I'm sorry, and extracting the Nine Tail. So it's like, I mean, what do I care if Sasuke kills his brother, who's apparently maybe not as strong as I once thought he was. So,
well, I'm basing it. Okay. So we've had quite a few interactions with Naruto and Sasuke to this point. More Naruto because Sasuke's been out for quite a while. But throughout all of these interactions, there is one person who is just what you were saying. Like, he's just mean to be mean. And he's on a kill streak or a hunt for his brother. And he's driven by the fact that he's got to kill his brother or his friend. And so he's trying to find a way to be as strong to be able to do that, because he's met Naruto in that battle. And he couldn't do it, or he could, but he didn't for whatever reason. But like, coming to this point in these episodes, Sasuke is asked why he is running away from Naruto, and he acts like he doesn't even know who that is. Just absolutely cold. And then the next episode, Sai's talking to Naruto about the same thing. Literally says, why would you risk your life to save someone who doesn't care for you, or like you're not ordered to save him? And Naruto is just like, dude, Sasuke's accepted me more than anyone else, and we have a special bond. Like, that's it. It's as pure and simple as that. And I'm like, why does anyone like Sasuke? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I know in the grand scheme of the fan base, everyone's been caught up, and I'm brand new to this, but I don't get it. So,
I think it's a classic like storytelling technique to have like a duty bound character, and that's Naruto. Obviously, he's the main character because the show is called Naruto, but that the duty piece of the show is like it only makes sense to him, and that's what makes his motivations like kind of so captivating. So you end up sort of like, even though you hate Sasuke, you're almost like wanting it to work out, not even for Sasuke's sake, but really more for Naruto's. And and you know, it obviously the way that this plays out over the course of the show changes, and you're seeing that in real time at the moment in this piece of the show. But I do think it's really, that's part of what makes it such a compelling story. It is that Sasuke is so unredeemable at this point, at least the way I'm watching it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a journey. Like knowing the full roller coaster of it all, but at this point in time, and especially since this is kind of like we've seen him a couple times before. We saw him at the opening, and then we see him here, and this is the first interaction that Naruto and Sakura have with him since. For Sakura, since he knocked her out, and for Naruto, since he knocked him out. So and to be met immediately with just like this too cool, like tone, like it makes sense for the character. I get it, but definitely, like Lance said earlier, like watching it as an adult now, Naruto is so far and above the obvious choice here. But don't tell teenager Logan that, because I fervently, like, it wasn't that I wanted to justify anything about Sasuke, but I like wanted more of like his story, and even knowing it, it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of like ill motivated. Like, yeah, like Asher, you said earlier that like he is going after his brother, but like the intentions there are purely selfish. They have nothing to do with like he's an Akatsuki member, we want to see that stopped. Like it is only I'm seeking power from Orochimaru for myself so that I can kill my brother. And then what? Like what happens after that? And we've not been given any depth to that. Like with Naruto, and I think that this is extremely powerful. Whenever he was asked by Sasuke, like, you still want to be like the Hokage? And he was like, how could I be the Hokage whenever I can't even save a friend? There's like there's so much depth to like what Naruto's goals are that obviously end with the Hokage and continue on. But like, that's like that big crown, that big gem that like he's chasing after. But for Sasuke, it's just purely hatred. So where does that lead you after you kill your older brother? Like, then what?
Yeah, it seems like it is just retaliation, but then he's fine with just dying afterward, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fine with there was some point in this arc or in these episodes where he says like, yeah, I'm going to join up with Orochimaru. Like, we probably can't defeat him, either of us, separately, so may as well like get ate up by that slithery tongue so that we can beat him.
That's a direct translation. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the letters at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, I mean, he cares so little. Like he doesn't care about his own life except to the extent that he can build power. He's kind of like swapped places with Gaara, is what it feels like early Gaara and OG Naruto.
That's a good.
So I guess there's some hope to me that there's going to be some talk no jutsu again for Sasuke, but at the moment it's like, can we either just get there or like not be around Sasuke anymore?
If it makes you feel any better, I don't want to give the actual percentage, but the percentage that he's in the entire show is astonishingly low.
Well, already, yeah, I believe you, because already it seems like he doesn't seem like any less of a main character for it, which is kind of wild that they were able to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's been almost 50 episodes before we see him for a second time. So
yeah, and it's just the same scene we saw the first time.
Right.
Logan, you brought up an interesting point a minute ago about how Sasuke's motivations are like purely selfish. But I think that's one of the interesting parallels of the show, that like, so is Naruto in a way. They're coming at it from two different angles. Like they've both chosen like the path of tunnel vision. Naruto's only goal is to save Sasuke, and he wants to become Hokage, but the way that he's chosen to look at it is that's not even on the table until he can achieve this one thing. So as far as what comes after it, doesn't matter. And Sasuke is really doing the same exact thing. He has one goal, tunnel vision, doesn't care about anything else. But the interesting thing is that Sasuke has chosen to try and like divorce himself from anything and everything that could possibly support him, because he knows his goal is, morally corrupt, and doesn't care. Whereas Naruto has chosen a obviously a very different motivation of trying to do something that is obscenely compassionate, if that's like a way to use an oxymoron. But I think drawing those parallels is kind of part of the fun of the show. And you guys have talked about this off and on throughout the show about the different parallels between the Team 7 and the Sannin, and how you can kind of start to. I think I don't know how much of that was really by design. I'm sure all of it was probably, but I don't know. That was an interesting point to me that you made about Sasuke, and I think you could almost make the same case for Naruto, which is part of the fun of seeing both of them struggle towards those goals.
Yeah, I think that I do see your point, and I agree. I just think that because Naruto's is supported by other people and not so like fervently, like you said, just like casting people off or only using people the way that he is with Orochimaru, like to the point that he was like, I don't even care if he takes over my body. Like that's wild.
Gross too.
Naruto, yeah, gross as well. Naruto, it's just like you said, it's coming from a different angle, so it's easier to justify the selfishness to a point that it doesn't even really feel selfish, because it feels like almost justified for him, like to continue to go after Sasuke.
Without a doubt,
it does. There's definitely a feeling of like why. But at the same time, whenever I see Naruto make decisions, every single time, even though I realize that some of them are just asinine, I still will be like, do it. Like, go for it. Like you want them to succeed. You want them
because it's compelling.
Well. Yeah.
Without a doubt. I totally agree.
Well, that makes me think of like a sort of theory that maybe you're not even able to answer. Actually, you probably can't, but
I'm excited about theories though.
Yeah. It makes me think, going back to my original comment where Sasuke acts like he doesn't even know Naruto or Sakura anymore, like completely out of sight, out of mind. And it's not even been that long. Like if I didn't talk to you guys for 3 years, I would still know who you are. Like, especially as young as he is, with the memory that he has. But it makes me think of sorcery and how he kind of manipulated and controlled certain people. It makes me wonder if Orochimaru is doing the same thing to Sasuke. And my reason for saying that is because in 49, Kabuto enters the chat. He kind of intercepts where they're at, and Sai is kind of like, there's some conversations where he's like, I don't even exist, like I'm not even real, stuff like that. And they're trying to like Sai's on the up and up of like, he had this big moment where like, if people can change, then so can I, and that was a cool moment. Made me feel a little bit for Sai. I'm not as cold towards him as I have been at this point in the show. But then Kabuto says, he like laughs when he says that. And he's like, you don't know the real Sasuke. And it's like, well, you've only spent 3 years with him. Maybe you don't know the real Sasuke, or you're controlling who Sasuke is going to be. And so you're acting like you know who the new Sasuke is, not the old Sasuke. So it kind of made me think of that sorcery, like control vibe, where like Orochimaru, for him to say, I don't even care if he takes over my body, things like that. And just the whole demeanor of who he is. Like, we don't know what happened in these past 3 years from his perspective. We only see Naruto's drive to get towards where they are today or at this time. And I don't know, it just makes me think like maybe there's some mind palace stuff going on here where he's kind of trapped in subservitude in a way.
That's an interesting thought. I don't want to answer that. We'll just let time tell. But I do want to talk about, I didn't hear that, like, who is Naruto, or I don't know who that is with him and Sakura. I didn't hear that as like, I genuinely don't know, but it more so of like, they're so insignificant to me, like a purposeful, like, who, but like just to do it. Cause he clearly does know. I mean, Naruto and Sakura, they spent years together. I mean, there's no way that he doesn't know, but it is a very interesting thought about, mind control, and a great comparison to sorcery, because I mean, we've already seen that that's an option. So don't read into what I'm saying here as an answer in any way. We'll find out, because Orochimaru definitely does have a hold on Sasuke. To what degree, we'll see. But also, shifting gears a little bit, but still in the vein of theories, Asher had texted me a couple weeks ago whenever we were watching this batch to begin with, and said that, not this batch, sorry, I think it was a couple weeks ago, he said his theory is that Kabuto is Sai's older brother. And I think we've got an answer on that enough to say that maybe that theory was wrong, but
sure,
an incredible theory, because the book, the child that's on that book looks like a younger Kabuto, mainly because of the hair. But we don't have a great backstory on Kabuto besides the fact that the first time we meet him, he's got a leaf headband on, and we are led to believe that that's where he's from, and we won't get answers on that for quite a while, but we don't know where he's from at this point in time. So great theory. I wanted to make sure that Lance and Zach had heard that theory because it hadn't been brought up yet, but
that would have been a really cool thread.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's those theories that I didn't like, because I don't even remember the theories I had whenever the first time I watched this, because it's been so long. So now only what has happened and what we will see is the only thing that comes to my mind. So I absolutely love hearing your all's theories, because they're so not even if they are all wrong, they still are thought provoking because of the way that the show could have gone or whatever.
Well, I have
You've also been right a few times. Sorry, but you guys have been right a few times.
I have another theory about Kabuto that I'll save for a second. But is it true that as far as Sai's older brother, he succumbed to illness, and that wasn't his like older brother by blood?
Yeah, not by blood.
Is that correct?
Yeah, nobody in the Foundation is. I don't know. There's related. No spoiler here. This is just, we've not been told, but yeah, nobody there is like it family like that.
Think of it like
it seems like it's
like an island of misfit toys.
I was about to use the word misfits as well. It seems like a lot of people just taken from whatever, wherever,
and then Donzo just
were meant to be together,
whatever he wants with them.
Which it makes you think like if they hadn't sealed the Nine-Tailed Fox in Naruto, could he be in the Foundation? Because he was
a great point,
lost without parents, and he would be a perfect candidate for that.
Another interesting theory.
I wonder if that was like something about the third Hokage, like kind of nudging him in a different direction behind the scenes or something. Our lore guy Jet Kirby on YouTube also mentioned that the third Hokage's wife might have even like helped take care of Naruto, and that I think that was like a pure speculation thing, like reading really far into it. But that just got him saying that got me thinking that, you know, that Naruto was probably pushed more toward like, I don't know. I kind of boil it down to like the academic route to be a Guinean. Is that right? Yeah. Rather than whatever they would call themselves at the, I want to call it the Institute. What is it called?
The Foundation.
I'm like blanking. I'm in Fallout 4 mode for some reason. Institute. But okay, real quick, the theory about Kabuto is that I think he's actually like way older than he appears. I think I've maybe mentioned that before.
Not
like
that
long ago. You don't think so? But I don't know. It seems like he's been around a while, and Orochimaru's been around a while as well. And we don't really know how well he would have been about the same age as Tsunade is now, right?
Yeah, somewhere around 60, probably 65.
50, 60s. Okay.
I think that I had looked this up recently about Jiraiya specifically, and I think that it was 67, but I could be wrong. Somebody in the comments will definitely tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, somewhere between 50 and 65 is for sure. I can say it's in that window.
So, I mean, Kabuto looks older, even older now, which is wild because when we were still in the Chunin exams, he already looked to me like he was 30, maybe a great looking 40, great skincare routine.
It's the training exams.
It's the gray hair. If you put black hair on Kabuto, I really think this goes away.
Maybe the glasses too, but what do you think, Zach? Did you think he looked older than everybody else? Or
at that time, we were talking about them being like 12, right?
Yeah.
So I saw Kabuto for the first time, and I'm like, oh, he's like that cooler 15-year-old. Like,
and that's what he was in OG. He was like around like 16-ish or whatever, and where they're at now, and he's like low 20s at this point in Shippuden. Yeah. I mean, around 20, maybe.
He doesn't give me older vibes at all.
Same.
Something about him.
It's not even the hair color for me, because like Gaara has like a hair color that doesn't exist. You know.
Well,
what I mean?
Look at Kakashi. He's got the same hair color.
He's like 80 that about though, Kakashi? Right? No, I'm kidding. He doesn't seem that old, is what I'm saying. Like that would be a wild thread to walk down.
I believe that Kakashi is like 30 or below.
Yeah, he's like an Anderson Cooper.
Sexy man. Kakashi seems older in Shippuden though. To me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think everyone just seems older.
He feels like he's not aged much. To me, like, and not even appearance wise, but like, I think that we just see more truthful who Kakashi is as opposed to having to be a teacher. But he doesn't feel like, oh, this guy's gotten like he's matured. I think he's just been the same, but playing two very different roles between teaching brand new ninja and being teammates with those developed ninja. But because like, okay, Yamato, I think that we're led to believe that Yamato's in that same age bracket as Kakashi because they are both from the Anbu Black Ops and they've talked about that. He has the look to me of like late 20s. And I think that and it might just be biased because I know, but I feel like his look is very appropriate to his age. Whereas like Jiraiya, he looks old in the face, but like you see his body and it's like, good Lord, no way he's like 60 or something.
Yeah, it's like a 40s, like a 44 range to me.
Yeah.
For Jiraiya.
I mean, like the most shredded 40-year-old.
Yeah. I want to see Tsunade's like original form to be able to place them in their age bracket. I'm excited to see that if we ever do.
I mean, we got a little bit of it with in the, I forget the name of the arc. It was the Search for Tsunade arc. And we got backstory on her former lover and then her little brother as well. So we get to see a little bit of her at that age. Maybe we'll get to see more. I don't want to confirm because I honestly can't remember. But yeah, I do agree. But she ultimately, because she uses that jutsu to make herself appear younger, she kind of looks the same. I mean, she's a little bit older, but like she kind of just looks like the same to me.
40s.
I don't see, like, I guess so. Like her,
41.
41 specifically.
Maybe.
I was going to say 44. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, like, yeah.
See, I considered Yamato and Kakashi up to this conversation to be like 40. Like not any older than 40.
Good
I just
Lord.
thought they're killing it. They're in great shape. They're doing ninja stuff all day long. They're always training. But I didn't see them as any younger than that just because of their level of like wisdom, I guess.
That's a good point.
So,
because like if
I don't know.
Because I'm 29 right now. And so if I
29?
put Yamato and Kakashi, like I don't feel their age in my brain because they're so clearly experts in their field. Now, this is not ever going to be one-to-one because we live in a real world and they live in this ninja world where things are very different. But they don't, I do agree with you that they do feel older than I do, but I don't know if that would go away even if I was 39. Like, I don't know if I would, I think I'd have to get well beyond their possible age range for me to be like, they are now younger than me.
Yeah, that what you're saying just there feels to me like Olympic athletes. Like growing up watching the Olympics, if I was like 8 or 12 or 16 even, it's like, oh, those people are all older than me. Like I probably thought they were all 30 and I know they weren't. But now it being in my mid 30s watching them, I'm like, oh shoot, they're all like 19 and 20 years old.
Right.
They're so much younger and in better shape than me. So
yeah. And yeah,
that's just what that made me think of.
Same. I watch college sports. Like I watched college football this past weekend and it's become very evident. It's like, these are children. But they're all monsters. Like they're huge, ripped, just monsters. And then I'm like, but they still feel like I don't want them to make life choices yet. But they're all making millions already. So good for them, whatever.
Sure.
Anyways, so let's talk about how they have this full conversation with Sai in his room. And we have already been shown that Kabuto has walked down and said, oh, wait, I've left my packet. And then has turned around and took 7 years to get back to the room just in time for them to leave the room with the packet. It's infuriating to me. I don't know why, but it's something that will never leave me. That kind of attention to detail bothers me. I like need it to be right. Like show it later. Like don't show him coming back and then show the team showing up and then having a 20-minute conversation as if you can't get back to the room in 20 minutes. You know?
See, this is why the live action One Piece feels great, because the battles early on that take like 4 episodes, there was one, I won't give spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, but there was one that takes 2 minutes in the first episode. And I was like, oh, great. I forgot they could do that.
Yeah, it's honestly very good. It's very good.
because they're not in the minds of the people, and I'm sure these conversations are probably going by a little bit faster, but in the moment they just seem like seriously 20 minutes has gone by, and 7 years. 20 minutes in real time is clearly 7 years for Kabuto, because he's just aging for me at a very rapid rate, and it's very confusing.
It's like, just give him a distraction. Like,
give him a distraction.
Like a rat walks by and he's like, "Oh, we have rats," and he has to find the rat. Or
great Kabuto voice, by the way.
I heard a noise down the hall. I gotta check it out, and it turns out to be a rat. I don't care what it is, but they'll just
sounds
make
like
him
you just want rats to be involved more.
Listen,
I wish that anytime Kabuto got distracted, it was by a rat for the rest of the series.
It's you know why? It's because he is a rat.
He is a rat. Frick that guy.
Freaking Kabuto.
Well,
but yeah, I was infuriated by that as well. There's a lot of those details that I'm just living in the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. Or what did Asher call it?
It was me, the disposition of disbelief.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I like that. Rolls off
I like
the tongue.
The disposition of disbelief better. Well, so after some discourse of the ages of everyone, they capture Kabuto. Well, I guess let's talk about this first. Did you guys see the flip from Sai coming? Is there, at this point, are you even surprised by anything anymore? Or are you just kind of watching it as it comes and you're just like, that happened. Great. Okay, what next?
I'm not going to lie.
Both at the same time.
Okay, 1, 2. I'll go quick. It was enough of a twist that Sai was gonna kill Sasuke. I was like, oh shoot, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was on board that he was Danzo's emissary or whatever, and just trying to get Orochimaru on board or something. So that was like, oh, that's crazy. And then there was within the next few minutes, he had revealed himself to be changed, and I was like, that's too much, too fast. It did feel a little too fast, but looking back on all the Sai moments, it did feel earned. I think it was cool how they flashed back to some stuff.
What about you, Z?
Are you asking specifically when Sai goes to Sasuke's room, or when Kabuto and Sai and Yamato's team all talk together?
I was actually talking about whenever Kabuto, they're outside the hideout. Kabuto finds them. They have Sai tied up, or tie side up. And I guess Kabuto saves him, pulls him to his side. And then he's like, you don't seem to have betrayed us. He frees him. And then Sai pulls the kunai on Kabuto and pulls his arm or whatever. That's what I was referring to. But that's also because I forgot about him trying to kill Sasuke. So respond to either or both.
So I'll just go in order. When they're out in the courtyard by the mountain, and they're talking with Kabuto, it was shocking at that point, because Sai literally just said he didn't exist. So for him to go from I don't exist to hearing one thing about a bond and getting the flashback of his brother and all that, to see that switch, and then Sai kind of has a different way of viewing this entire arrangement. To me, it was I don't know, I almost felt like Yamato messed up whenever he saw the bingo book in the bag. And he immediately flipped and acted like Sai's gonna kill Sasuke. We gotta go stop it. This is the ulterior motive the whole time. And in the grand scheme of things, with I mentioned this quite a bit, but they say in Hollywood, you've seen one show, you've seen them all. But this obviously did not happen in Hollywood. This is from Japan, and so the whole arc of this transition of Sai's heart, I was shocked at the beginning because he was like, I don't even exist 2 episodes before this happened. But whenever he went to Sasuke's room and was like, hey, you need to come with us. Yeah, that wasn't a shock to me because of the context I have, you know?
I gotcha. Well, either way, he makes his allegiance known. And I think that Naruto, in a equally as quick way, not unjustified either, is kind of like, all right, if you're with us, you're with us. He wasn't like wild about it, but ultimately he trusted Sai, because whenever he had to face off against Orochimaru, it was like, go find him, which I don't think that we would have seen just 2 episodes before. I mean, we wouldn't have seen that. So I think that he's solidified his place in the team for sure. And at the end of the batch, we even see that he goes back to Danzo, who he's keeping his allegiance to as well, and says, like, I want to stay with this team and keep the name Sai. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we've not covered here. I know that we see a really cool jutsu for Kabuto, Orochimaru, and Sasuke at the end of the reunion where they just disappear by flames and go wherever they go, which we just kind of have to accept and be like, okay, that's another jutsu we don't know. And we get that the entire show.
We didn't talk about Sasuke having the deepest V-neck in history, to the point that the sides of it are just kind of flapping in the wind.
Yeah,
interesting fashion choice.
That is a shirt that you buy from American Apparel
in 2013.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
We also didn't talk about how they wear purple sailor's ropes on their backside that is so stiff they just stay in place. The gravity doesn't work against them.
If somebody wants to buy me one of those, I will wear it.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
I wouldn't, but we've never really talked about that, have we? Like Orochimaru's purple rope tied in a nice neat bow. Sasuke has it too now. Yeah, I know. Like, but why? Like, what is it for? What's the point? Is it
so did the Sound Ninja 4
belt? Yeah, I'm assuming it's just an Orochimaru thing, but I
think that I don't. There's no deeper meaning to it. It's just if you're a servant of Orochimaru, sheesh, in any fashion, that's the fashion, pun intended.
That's the fashion.
That's the
Jesus.
That's the outfit for sure.
That's what I'm here for.
I mean, I like Sasuke's Shippuden design. I think that it looks better than his OG design by like a long shot.
His khaki cargos.
And the onesie. Like, I like the onesie, but like, I forgot love it. But yeah, I think that this is like much more, and the sword, like, he is a very cool character design. And I think that that's also lends to why people like him so much. But he's just the worst dude. But he's very quick. Like, whenever he goes down to Naruto and they start to have a conversation, like, you know, face to face, I love that Naruto holds his own. He's not immediately jacked up trying to like pulverize him so that he can take him back to the leaf, but it's very composed. I think we see a lot of maturity from Naruto for that, just because they've been waiting for so long for this. So it's almost expected for Naruto to immediately just lose his shit and be like, this is my chance. I've got to stop him, basically. And even whenever they leave by the jutsu, he was so clearly just heartbroken, but there's no immediate outward anger. And now that I think about it, that may have been contributed to the fact that he's just come off this fight with Orochimaru with the Nine Tails chakra. He's clearly just beat because he's expended so much energy. But I do think that even if he did have the energy, I think that the reaction would have probably been the same, just heartbreak.
Well, and he's just hurt Sakura, and he's gotten a talking to from Yamato. So I'm sure part of that was like, even if I did have the energy, like I shouldn't be using that right now.
That's a good point.
But the other thing we didn't get to yet was the whole Sasuke getting into Naruto's mind palace and talking to the Nine Tails, and he mentions Madara Uchiha, which made me think Madara. Thank you. Is there a third person who's alive, or is this a past person?
I don't feel bad telling you. This because the Nine-Tailed Fox does say this. He says Madara from the days of old. This is an ancestor.
Because there's just Sasuke and Itachi
left alive. Yeah, but I mean the clan was huge, right, and has been a long-standing family in the Leaf. So, yeah, we don't really know right now. We literally, besides the fact that he says Madara from the days of old in the sub, I believe it is, then that's it. Like, we don't have any other reference of who this guy is or anything like that. But that's just deductive reasoning that he's an ancestor of theirs.
Now I want to know how old is, because is that their dad or something? That seems like a more feminine name to me just on paper, but I don't necessarily think that that's true. But I was like, maybe that's their papa.
We don't know yet, but I will say that Itachi killed his father, and I can't remember if he's used his name or not yet.
Can't remember either.
So, but we will get answers on this, like everything else. I know that every time I can't answer something, I immediately want to give the caveat, just wait. And that is 99% of the time true. But that's just kind of the only option we have right now is just keep watching.
At the end of the day, the moral of the story is Danzo's the worst. Sasuke is definitely the worst.
Let's go with Sasuke from here on.
Let's do Sasuke. I like all the names that we've gotten wrong so far.
Orochimaru. We'll just make them all Naruto. Ochimaru. It makes sense.
Jiraiya.
Ochimaru.
Kakashi.
Kakashi.
But the real moral of these particular episodes is that Sai has friends now and he does art.
Yeah. I, earlier this week, in the past week, have been called Sai by Asher in a group text. And I know that you wanted it to be an insult to me, but it just wasn't. But
I don't remember if I was trying to make that an insult. It wouldn't make sense if I was.
Well, Lance had said, "Am I Sai?" And I said, "Are you wearing a crop top?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Then yes, you are." And then you said, "You aren't," or you said, "Logan's the closest thing to Sai." And
because of art.
And you said, because you said, "Look at me, I do art and I hate everybody." and no, you said, "And I don't have feelings for someone," or something like heartless or something like that. But yeah, I was rolling at that text group. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's kind of the arc. That's wrapping up the arc. And then 53 named Title, which is an interesting title for the episode. We just kind of get built up for this next part that we're going into. So everybody's back in the village. We see Kakashi, who is also heartbroken to some degree because Sasuke was his pupil, and beyond Team 7, but I mean, how much guilt do you think that he has to hold? Because he's the one who has taught Sasuke a lot of what he knows, which wasn't going to really deter Sasuke from the path that he chose, but it definitely didn't it definitely made it easier for him to be like, "Oh, I've got a lot of power," because Kakashi had given it to him. So I'm not trying to lay blame on Kakashi at all, or Kakasho, but I mean, you also kind of have to feel for Kakashi, because I think that you immediately would feel guilt if you put yourself into his shoes because of the choices that Sasuke is making.
Well, I forgot that he taught him Chidori, and he also gave him that talking to after the Sound Ninja 4 propositioned Sasuke. Kakashi went to him and was like, hey, I've also like lost everyone close to me. And I mean, Sasuke was not mature enough, and probably still isn't, to like dig into that conversation. So he was just not going to hear it. But that's something I'm interested to see with Kakashi's character too. It's just some backstory, because we don't really have much of anything, do we?
No, and that's what's really weird. It was a weird choice by the anime to make this decision, but at the break between volumes, I don't know the chapter, but between 27 and 28, the anime released just a whole arc about Kakashi that gives you and it is in the anime. It's just later. So if you read it in the order that it was released, then you get all this backstory on Kakashi immediately. And that gives you a ton of context on who he is now as an adult. Like we were talking earlier with being a teacher versus like a comrade now. I think that there must have been a reason why, but it really does suck that the anime waits so long, because you are kind of left in the dark on a very like important character. Like we don't really get a ton of backstory on Sakura, because there seemingly isn't any right now. But the whole show is about Naruto, so we clearly get that. And then we have clearly gotten a lot about Sasuke. And kind of the fourth counterpart to that is Kakashi, and it's not like it's not there. So I don't know why they waited. It might have just been a choice of like people want to see Naruto and continue that. I don't know, but it's out there and we will get it, and it's frustrating, but it's just later.
Yeah.
What else happens in 53 though? We get a lot of like wrap up of like, here's what, like we see Sai with Danzo a little bit. We see him doing some art, and then we see that Naruto and Sakura are back in the village with all their friends, and we kind of get that little like
wants to go on a date with her.
Yeah, we kind of get that little 90s montage a little bit, just for like a second, and then as far as I remember, that kind of wraps it up. I'm kind of blanking on the rest of 53, but it didn't feel like there was a ton going on. It is all manga canon, but it's just a lot of wrap up and revamping for this upcoming arc.
Well, that is the one where Sasuke says that he's straight up just willing to be consumed by Orochimaru, whatever that means. So I guess that was seemed like a pretty big moment there, but then it pretty quickly transitioned to like back to the village. But what I liked about these episodes is that the through lines seem to be like bonds, and like bonds from the past, and like forming new ones and stuff. But I definitely think the best bond is 007.
Okay, but beyond that, which bond?
It's hard to beat Pierce Brosnan just because I'm a 90s kid. You know, and GoldenEye.
Dude, thank you. So many people I talked to this about, they don't answer with Pierce Brosnan. And Lance is clearly not going to answer with Pierce Brosnan either.
I've seen all of Daniel Craig's James Bond. I've not seen a single one before that.
Was Pierce Brosnan the one before? I don't think there was a gap between them two. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's really good ones.
Huh?
Anyways, we can go back to Naruto. But Yeah, so next upcoming batch, it will be a little bit. I'm going under the knife soon, so we're gonna wait. But next batch is going to be episodes 54 through 56. So the beginning of season 3. It's got some manga canon stuff in it that we want Asher and Zach to watch. And then we're going to skip straight to 72 through 76, which will put us into HD land, which I know that Zach has been wanting to get there for basically since OG Naruto. So ready for 1920 by 1080, just beautiful resolution. Yeah, so 54 through 56 and then 72 through 76 will be our next batch. You can check it out. You guys got anything else that you wanted to talk about before we sign off?
I know I normally have a prediction, but I don't really know what's going to happen next.
We've not really been set up for anything besides the fact that everybody's back in the village. We don't know where Sasuke went, and we're just kind of
It's honestly, it's like warm and fuzzy on Sai's behalf, and it was just like happy ending for now.
For now,
you're right. No setup.
I feel like we should, for the canon of whoever watches the long form of this, hey, you're in it for the long haul. But for the people that just get like a 2-minute or 20-second version of us on Reels, we should like explain what we're doing and make a reel out of that with everybody here. Just so they can point to a reel and be like, listen, they're talking about these things for the first time.
So maybe when we say things like the only people to have killed an Akatsuki member are Chio and Sakura, that people won't think, wow, these idiots have watched the entire series and they clearly don't remember who else has killed an Akatsuki member.
I truly
hilarious.
Cannot comprehend watching someone else's video of a series that I've watched entirely, where the list is clearly longer than 2 people, and then being like, that guy watched the entire series and didn't realize, like, what? I don't know. It is, and it's in it was in the caption for like 90% of it. We updated the caption nearly immediately to make sure that it was like, hey, we're 53 episodes in, which was even more than we actually were, because 53 is where we're at now. But yeah, so we've got a card pack opening to do as well. But so let's record this reel live real quick. You guys want me to do it, or do you someone else want to explain all this?
I just want to explain that Zach and I have watched as many episodes as we've talked about up to this episode.
Yeah, like
that's all that I wanted to say.
If you're hearing a hot take on a certain episode and there's context beyond that, just know that I've never seen that yet. Like, this is the first time I've even seen a fight with Chio and Sakura. Like, I don't know anybody beyond that. Like, this is my first time watching Naruto, and respect it. That's all I got to say.
I would say believe it.
Believe it.
That's just me.
And quit putting spoilers in the freaking comment section, because I want to watch our own reels sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So for full context, obviously everybody who's this far into the podcast watching long form is very aware, but Lance and I have seen all of Naruto multiple times. Asher and Zach doing a watch through right now. The whole dynamic is to get those hot takes that Asher and Zach are new to this. So the ideas that they come up with are stuff that we've not thought of because we've seen it so many times. So that's the whole point of this. I don't understand the anger, but we really appreciate you sticking with us, especially in the long form, because that's what we have a lot of passion for, in talking through all the details and not the 20-second snippets. We really do appreciate everyone who watches and listens. At this point, to me, I realize there's a lot of listeners that don't watch, but what are you doing? Go watch it. Like, you get facial expressions, you get all the extras. So go watch us. But you guys ready to do this pack opening?
Yes.
Dude, right off the bat, we have the exact same card that I couldn't show you guys a couple weeks ago. I can't show you this week.
I have a quick question about the cards. Are they like Pokemon cards where you can build a deck and play some sort of competition style game with them?
They're in Japanese, so like I assume so. Like I assume that that you can play this. But I don't know. Like I'm purely in it for like, does the card look good? But
they're not like
they're
baseball cards.
Well, I mean, maybe. Like I don't know. I should take Google Translate to this and see what pops up. But it seems like the back has like attacks or no, that's just stats. No,
and
the
see,
front
stats
looks like
could
it has
be
like health and stuff. Sorry,
guys. Okay.
Does it say playing cards or does it say collector cards? Or is it all in Japanese?
It's all in Japanese. Like Connor had these shipped in from Japan. And
Shippuden?
You beat Asher to it. That is
son of a bitch.
That's quite the feat. Anyways, first card we can't show you. Second card, something we've already seen. Eno.
Crop top.
And then we have Shino.
Wow. What up, Shino?
Yeah.
A cool card. I like this. Can't remember his name. Sound 4 Ninja.
48 millimeter rope waistband.
Oh my God, bro. What a barrier.
No.
Yes. The hollow shine.
I want to buy that from you.
This is an SR. Did you say buy? I'll literally give it to you. Any of the cards that you see here, you can have. Connor has absolutely blessed this podcast, and I have way too many now. So, yeah, once we see each other in person next, I know that Asher's from out of town, but I'm not have been
from
instructed.
Out of town. I now live out of town.
You live out of town.
And I think Zach would want Might Guy more than me, maybe.
No, I want a good Jiraiya card. That's all I'm asking.
Haven't pulled him. Connor and I have opened so many packs because besides the 3 boxes he's given me, he's bought more for himself. Nice. And we have not opened a single Orochimaru card. And to my knowledge, he might have a Jiraiya, but I don't. And I hope we pull one on the podcast. I hope we get good cards and I don't mind to open another pack right now if you guys want to, but I feel like I keep getting these like not bad. My guy's not bad, but there are definitely better cards out there. So you might have to just tune in next week for our next pull and see if we get anything better. But so next arc, we're going to call the Akatsuki Suppression Mission, episodes 54 through 56, and then skip to 72 through 76. So we'll catch you then. I guess now's when we say believe it.
Believe it.
Remember, this is a watch through.